Face reality, people. Movies are dead. Games are dead. Narrative? Dead.
Media is nothing but neural trigger response and viral conditioning.
Wait, what are you two talking about?
Okay, I just want to say off rip. Nerdrotic thinks
Love
that
PPC.
shut up. Nerdrotic thinks that the Captain America trilogy is better than the Dark Knight trilogy, and that blew my mind. Now I know where we're at. I just wanted to say that first and foremost. Granted, it has nothing to do with the rest of this video. It blew my mind. Once again, these aren't film fans, right? These are comic book fans, seemingly. I don't know about Critical Drinker. He seems more film orientated than Nerdrotic. But anyways, okay, nothing to do with that. We just watched, I guess, a proof of. I don't think that's the title. I think they're saying like this is proof of concept. Like this show works. Like essentially a pilot for, I guess, a show that would be called Rogue Elements, based on the Ryan Drake series, written by the Critical Drinker, and he's one of the writers of this. Essentially a pilot thing. Okay. Now for me, I saw a lot of cliches, a lot of you can kind of figure out what's happening and what's going to happen. I mean, it's somewhat guessable. I'm going to stay away from the aesthetics because, once again, this is more of a proof of concept, as in, hey, this idea works. Now imagine this with like an HBO budget or an Amazon budget or whatever the fuck, right? With a real TV budget, and you hired, the actors didn't do a bad job. Like no one stood out as like absolutely horrible. Granted, I mean, yeah, no one stood out as horrible. No one stood out as great either, right? They're kind of just whatever, like Sci-Fi Channel actors. Like, oh, all right, you're all right. You can talk without without laughing in the middle of your lines or whatever the fuck. Although I'm sure there's bloopers somewhere. But maybe they might want to get like a big name or something like that as the face of their product, right? The Ryan Drake guy, maybe. I don't know, maybe they would want that guy. I don't know. He didn't do anything horrible. Like his aesthetics were kind of his hair was weird to me, but like that's whatever. They can re-go over how to do all that. Maybe give him a beard, look like a little tougher. I don't know. Maybe he's just a proper bloke. I don't know. But yeah, this wasn't horrible. It wasn't absolutely horrible. It wasn't riddled with flubs everywhere. It was just kind of midline. Like, hey, I've seen this before type of shit. Right, you can kind of guess the archetypes of the characters. You could probably see his favorite films and products through the movie itself, or through the TV show thing itself. Right, you could definitely see some Batman in there, some Joss Whedon in there, like with the punk rock girl, the indie rock girl who's also a killer, I guess. But she'll say quips here or there. Not saying they did that really here, but you can see them probably moving in that direction, right? The tech girl who says like little jokes while Ryan Drake is on a serious mission. She says, "Oh man," or you hear like a ding in the background, like, and Ryan Drake's like, "What was that?" "Oh, that's my Pop Tarts. Just got out of the toaster." Like, "Oh, haha, funny, got it. She's quirky, got it." I can see that being a thing, and obviously the Hawaiian shirt, Swedish dude. I think he was Swedish. You could see the little comical elements with him. So, man, I think if they turn this into a bigger production for an actual streaming service or television channel, it would be fine. Why would it be fine, though? Is because audiences like kind of cliche, dribble, NCIS, Reacher, Tulsa King, like mid-level shit, where it's not like there's no real nothing interesting to the writing, in my opinion. Is it like is it like the worst thing ever? Like, no, it kind of looks like what we've already seen before. right? And also, with pilots, you have an entire series you have to go through. You have a 6 episode, 8 episode, 10 episode slate you have to go through. Like, you have to make a story work for 10 episodes or 8 or 6. And it's like, right? If you try to give your best shot, you blow your whole wad on your first fucking episode, like, shit can go downhill from there, as we've seen. But then again, if you look at Penguin, the quality dipped quite a bit after a couple of episodes, and people were still dick riding it. Like, they stopped caring. Like, well, I don't think they cared about quality in the first place, so they just went along with it. Right? So, right there into the comic book sense of it, or the fantasy of it. Right? I almost want to take like a show like this and put it in the fantasy section of TV shows. Because of, like, you can see how unrealistic it is, right? The idea of it. Even if you give it big production money, it's still going to look unrealistic. The concepts are going to be unrealistic, and it's going to look kind of silly. But if you just jump into the fantasy ride of it, you might ignore some of the flubs that would probably happen, stretched out over periods of time. But for what they gave me, right? Not saying I know that it'll just fuck up. I'm just saying, like, probably. Just based on, like, I don't see a underlying theme here that can carry me from beginning to end. Like something like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, where there is, like, spy shit and, assassins or whatever the fuck, or intelligence people, right? But there's a theme that only has something to do with it because of the characters that are involved in the scenario, right? Like, there's an underlying theme in Mr. and Mrs. Smith that carries on from episode 1 through the entire thing. About love and relationships and romanticism, all that shit, right? And, true love, or if you want to go there. Granted, it may be too sappy for some people. They want just pure action, but even those need some sort of underlying thing, right? Dark Knight is a great action movie, but there's a underlying theme to all of it, which makes it gold. This show, I don't see that. I just see cliches of espionage and governments and Russians and guns and assassins and all that shit, which is like, oh god, whatever. Maybe they do it, they just do it cleanly, right? But, like, I think, like, something like Captain America: Winter Soldier, actually, ironically enough, is kind of like a clean kind of spy thriller for, with Disney, right? There's no headshots, there's no bloody gore to it, but it's still like a clean movie. It's not but there's no, like, underlying thing that, like, pulls me in, other than more, I guess, gossip and drama of the characters. Who's Bucky? Who's Winter Soldier? What did he do? Like, typical narrative bullshit. But I want, like, something thematic that's deeper than the thing they're trying to show me in the first place. I did not see that in this one episode of it. Which means, like, shut up. Which means he would be good for, like, someone hire him to do some Reacher episodes. It works perfectly for shit like that. Works absolutely perfect for shit like that. But not for big PP writing, bro. It's just not there for that. It's not. It's not The Matrix. It's not, Dark Knight. It's not Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It's not that level of quality. It's just not there. But it could be fun for a lot of viewers, especially if you give them a bigger budget where fans can be oohed and awed by action sequences. Actually, there was one action sequence that was all right. That was when the girl showed up. She just fucking fucked everyone up in that room.
Fucking simp.
And it stabbed that fucking dude through the top of his head with a knife. I was like, God damn, woman. Turned on. But, yeah, like, it's all right. It's okay. And I'm gonna judge this in a vacuum, right? Because we have no proof of series, right? Maybe this is a proof of concept, but we have no proof of series, to where, like, there's more to this other than his books, which I'm not going to read. I hate reading. Boring for me. But yeah. For what it is, do I recommend? If you're into, like, the action espionage genre, and you're not worried about deeper storytelling, then yeah, I would recommend. Go enjoy it. And also, independent creator. Enjoy independent creation. Enjoy that shit. But my grade for this proof of concept pilot, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that wasn't a joke. You got to do the drum roll sound effect machine thing. Whatever. My grade, I think I'll give it 6.7. 6.7 out of 10. I think it's a solid grade, considering they're right. If you don't give me the aesthetics, which is where the show would try to lean towards, but you don't give me the underlying concepts to where I'll look past certain aesthetic things because I know you have a low budget, but you're actually trying to say a message to the world. You're trying to say something to the world. Thus, that message is the most important thing about your film. The fact that that thing is not there, it's just simple espionage and, who killed who, and Catwoman shows up, and Ryan Drake's got to take down Bane, and, headshot, hot chick on motorcycle, headshot, 20-second action sequence where she does backflip, back kicks, headshot, knife through the head. Like, if that's what you're trying to give me, I guess the grade could go up a little bit with getting more production or more money to it, to where they can make the cinematics look better. They can get better film locations. I even forgive where it's like nighttime, it just turns to day in like a matter of minutes for our, like, in reality minutes, but I guess in their world hours went by, but it didn't seem like hours went by type of thing. But whatever, that's just pacing issues. But I'll forgive it for now, because maybe they couldn't film in a certain spot for too long or whatever the fuck. But I gotta, somewhat forgive that, but also point it out, but I forgive it. And, but if they up the production value, the budget, the cinematics of it, I can maybe bump it up 0.1. I could probably bump it up to a 6.8. It's just, for me, it's just, I've seen all this shit before. The one-liners, we've seen all that before, right? It would just be another version of those same things, of Jack Ryan, of Jack Reacher, of newly introducing Ryan Drake. It would be the same thing. So, there you go. Nothing special, nothing absolutely horrible. An okay indie pilot TV show thing. There it is. Anyone else want to comment on what they saw here? Hey, I'm fair. I don't like critical fuckface, critical drinker. I don't think his takes are kind of, some are okay, and then some are like so fucking beat me over the head with fucking culture warrior garbage. It's just annoying, and like takes you out of film itself to where they think they're fighting some battle, and this is what you replace it with, bro. Like, this is supposed to be the replacement for stuff like that? This is fucking meathead dribble in a way. Like, that's what it would turn into. It would turn into, like, Reacher-style shit. Where it's like, I want to see steroided dudes beat the shit out of each other in action sequences without any deeper storyline to it. It's just like, this is fucking drool out of your fucking face shit. So, it is what it is. Anyone else want to comment, critique, grade, anything about what we just witnessed? No?
This shit was a Spike TV special.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's like it's kind of got like a USA show vibe, like the color of the show, the font. I mean, what was it? It was like a little grayscale, maybe.
I don't think it was that grayscale, but
But anyways,
you could
like,
see
yeah,
budget.
the way it looked like, yeah, this looks like a USA channel show.
There's probably 10 million of these things sitting inside the desk of some green lighter at Warner Brothers, Disney, wherever, Amazon, Netflix. There's probably a million of these.
Yeah, like you said, it's not the worst thing in the world.
It's just midline, and you'd probably have to get the right actor to really make it take off. Like, get like a younger Stallone. Get fucking what's his name from Guardians of the Galaxy. Get that guy in there as the lead in the show, and then
Dave Batista, you see?
Nah. Well, nah. The other
Oh,
guy.
you're talking about Chris Pratt?
Yeah, get like a guy like that where he like has.
Ain't no fucking way he's doing that.
I'm saying like, but he has a name though. You got to put like a name on top of this in order to, I think, to get like a real green light on it. I think, right? Tom Clancy has Tom Clancy to fucking put his name on top of it and sell something, right? Does Critical Drinker have that namesake? Is he going to be able to do that at Netflix or Amazon or any of these fucking companies? So you have to put like Chris Pratt stars in Rogue Elements. You're going to have to do something like that. Because I'm telling you right now, there's probably a million of these scripts like underneath the desk of executives at all these companies, bro. Because once again, there's nothing deeper to it to where it's like it gets that indie credit towards like, damn, even with a low budget, this motherfucker can tell a story. I'm not seeing that. I'm just seeing Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible, but less egregious, a little more grounded. And who knows what they would do with a budget? Maybe they go even crazier, where they have like this motherfucker flying in with the squirrel fucking cape and just floating into a crime scene and just killing everyone, and then like something stupid, right, could happen because like, hey, we have a bigger budget, so have him fly in here instead of just walk through the front door like he did in this episode, right? Like I said, not a big fan of the guy's takes on film. Some of his takes are okay. But he leans into that culture war shit, and that is the death of film. That's the death of art itself, in my opinion. I think it's absolutely trash. But, you know, people have their own opinions. I'm saying, either way, I'm being pretty fair. If you've seen any of my other grades, a 6.7 is a fair grade. That's a decent grade for considering, right? Because there aren't any super duper major flubs. There's shit that's like corny in here, 100%. But like I said, it could work for something like a Reacher type of thing, or a Jack Ryan, or 24, right? Keep their Sutherland 24. It could work for something like that. It is what it is. And, you know, everyone likes Russian propaganda, man. We're all into that shit. So come on. Someone give him something. We all hate Russia. But, yeah. Nothing special, though. Which even with this guy, I'm like, I hope it's something special. Hopefully I learned something like, oh man, this guy has an eye for something. I don't see that. I see he has an eye for shit we've already seen. Like on the surface action films. Shit we've already seen, some Batman to it a little bit and all that stuff. Like, oh, okay, we've already seen this. It's the Dark Knight without this. Well, it's not even a Dark Knight. Dark Knight is masterful on multiple levels, but like that, like a crazy action thing, but there's no Dark Knight level of subtext to it. It's just not there. Just one-liners and headshots. Pause. All right, anyone else want to go before I end this review of Rogue Elements pilot TV series that may or may not happen? Anyone? Going once? Going twice? Shut up! Alright, there's your review of Rogue Elements, the Ryan Drake series by Critical Drinker and his team and all that shit. Enjoy it.